Have you ever remembered doing something and then forget what it was you'd done? Or are you just rubbish with names and faces? Well, I am rubbish with names and faces. I have a good memory for things I'd done pretty much up till my mid-30s. But there was a game I remember playing in the arcades round about 1996. During the Euro 96 football tournament, a game I enjoyed, but completely forgot what it was called, as I was pretty much drunk most days during that tournament. And now, thanks to an early subscriber to my channel, I remembered what that game was called. The Drunk Monk had posted a comment on my Sunset Riders video about recommending Mystic Warriors, and when I had a look at that, I immediately got a flashback, or as some might say, a hazy, inebriated recollection. So a massive thank you to the Drunk Monk for this. Christopher, this video is for you, dude. Mystic Warriors is a ninja-themed, side-scrolling action game released as an arcade video game by Konami in 1993. It was developed by the same team that produced Sunset Riders, and has similar gameplay to its predecessor, along with hack and slash elements. Mystic Warriors is set in a dystopian future in New York, where an evil organisation known as the Skull Enterprise has taken over the nation and plots a worldwide takeover. The player takes control of one of 5 young ninjas who are being targeted by Skull forces: Spyros, Kaima, Kajiro, Brad, and Yuri. The game can be played by up to 2 or 4 players, and after each player chooses their character, one of the remaining members of the group will get kidnapped, prompting the remaining 4 to begin their mission. During their journey across several regions of Japan, the 4 ninjas eventually find and rescue their kidnapped friend. However, their reunion is short-lived, and the rescued ninja soon performs a sacrificial move to free them from an electric trap, dying in the process.
Your comrade died miserably. You'll pay for this!
The rest of the game is spent with the remaining ninja avenging the death of their fallen comrade. After defeating the Skull forces, the 4 remaining ninja mourn the loss of their companion before returning home. The game's controls consist of an 8-way joystick and 2 buttons for attacking and jumping. Like in Sunset Riders, the player can jump between higher or lower levels, as well as slide. The player character attacks primarily by shooting an unlimited supply of shurikens or daggers, or using his or her weapon at close range. The game includes some improvements that were not included in Sunset Riders, such as the ability for players to change characters after they lose a credit, as well as a life gauge that allows the player to sustain up to 4 hits from enemy attacks before losing a life. The Sunset Riders connection is also established at the drive-through cinema in the first level, with the intro to that game playing on the big screen. I love it when the fourth wall gets smashed, don't you?
Go! We'll never get away with this! Let him go!
Come on!
The visual appearance of the game is of a very high quality. Again, very much like Sunset Riders, with decent sized sprites that are well animated and well detailed. But the backgrounds are a little bland in places, like on the opening level. But when you get to the level in the Flying Fortress, the backgrounds there are pretty impressive. And the explosions are outstanding in this game. And the flame effect is top notch as well. It kinda takes me back to the Ninja Turtles arcade game on that first level. The single plane nature of the game does mean things can get a little crowded when on a 4-player jaunt. And there can be a little bit of annoying slowdown as well in this mode, but it's not terrible enough to put you off playing or anything. The sound is my favourite part of this game. The soundtrack is exceptional. And even from the very start, when the game's title screen and intro appear, this tune sounds like the start of the Terminator tune. And that's not a bad thing at all. The second level tune has this mix of techno with some old-time wood instrument music from a different era. It has somehow mixed 2 different styles from 2 different eras, and then each level has the same kind of format. None of the tracks are fist pumpers or rockin' headbanging tunes or anything. There is this almost muted nature to them. It's very quiet, but still, at the same time, rhythmic enough to feel connected with the action. I honestly recommend you seek out the soundtrack on YouTube and give it a listen. It's some of the best music I have ever heard in a video game. The sound effects are again very high quality, with suitable sounds for the heroes' weapon strikes, shurikens and stuff like that. With decent explosions, sound effects that sound quite bassy, and with a fair amount of sampled speech to hear as well, it all contributes to the amazing atmosphere of this game. The playability is so similar to Sunset Riders, but this one is better for the average gamer, I reckon. It's more forgiving than Sunset Riders, as you actually have a life bar, albeit a very small one, but still miles better than the one-hit kill you had in Sunset Riders. During the football tournament, me and my mates would venture up to the West End of Glasgow to go and watch the footy in a pub. This part of Glasgow was full of students, and so there was always an opportunity to have a few drinks, chat up a few birds, and maybe get lucky. The bar that had this game was the Curlers Bar on Byers Road, which was round the corner from my favourite bar in Ashton Lane, Ginty McGinty's, which was an Irish pub. Anyway, Curlers had these big projector screens showing the football, and the bar was packed for the Euros, and in between games I would go and have a shot on Mystic Warriors. My mates wouldn't have a shot of it. They insisted that video games were childish things. But if they are childish, then why don't they have an arcade machine in an adults only bar? But it didn't stop me from having a go. And even after quite a few libations, I remembered that I really enjoyed the game. Even though it had been released 3 years ago, this was the first time I played it. But then, it just struck me. If this game is 3 years old, why have I never seen it on the Super NES or anything? And it was a game that never got ported across to any home format at all. Not until the end of last year when it appeared on a PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. It was a shame that it never got ported across to anything. And I think this is why I forgot the name of it, as it never cropped up in compilations for the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3. It was a game that I played a small handful of times in the summer of 1996. In between watching Scotland games and hoping England get beat, and had it not been for a sub recommending it to me, I might never have played it again. So thank you, Chris, for that one. Mystic Warriors is a game I do recommend you play as soon as you can, if you have the ability to do so. And if you like this video, then please do give me a sub and a thumbs up, or maybe even a comment or two below about your memories of Mystic Warrior. Drunk or sober, it doesn't matter. And a massive thank you to all of those who have subscribed to my channel. Your feedback and support goes a long way in helping the channel to grow. And I want to thank you all for your contributions. So thank you from me. And that's all from me, folks. Thanks for watching.